What's going on, guys? Max Melanet here, bringing you all another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys why I've been riding these huge skateboards as a beginner skateboarder and why they've been so crucial for my progression and my confidence on the skateboard. Looking here, we have the Heroin Skateboards 10.75 Curb Killer Wideboy. This dropped in their spring drop, I want to say, their spring 2025 drop, and I just set it up about 2 weeks ago. I was actually going to make this video 2 weeks ago, and then my grandmother unfortunately passed away very suddenly, and I kind of had to take off work and rush down to Texas for her funeral and a bunch of stuff like that. Not saying that to get any sympathy or anything, just kind of explaining why I haven't posted a video in a little while. But we're here today now. I just didn't really feel like making the video after all that happened while I was still traveling, but I did get a decent amount of riding while I was down there after the funeral and everything. Before I dive into the stats on this thing, let me just show you a couple of the clips that I got while I was traveling down in Texas, because we had a blast on this, and all the clips I was posting on my Instagram, many people were actually reaching out to me saying that I look the most confident and comfortable I ever have on my board, and I think that is because of the wide size of this deck and just how confident and inspiring it is for me. Let's go.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was cool, but honey, you better clean that up.
Yeah. Yeah. If you already watched the channel, you know I love riding big boards. I've been on that 10-inch popsicle for the last 6 months. Before that, we had just been slowly getting bigger and bigger on our boards. When I first started, I was on like an 825, went up to the Andy Anderson 9.0. From there, I think we went to like a 10-inch egg board, the Grimple Sticks last summer. And then here we are now on the 10.75. Basically, my progression with that has just been every time I size up, it just feels better and better and more comfortable. If you saw in my last video, I rode the Heroin Skateboards Pickle, which I set up and had a blast on. The only thing about the Pickle was, it was just a little too heavy for flat ground. That thing was 12 inches across, and it really felt like that when you were riding it, especially for popping ollies or anything like that. The only thing was, going from the 12-inch pickle back to my 10-inch popsicle, the 10-inch popsicle initially did feel a little bit small, and that thing was starting to get very, very worn down after 6 months of riding. So from there, I decided to set up this 10.75 egg board that I had. It was kind of in the middle between the two. This thing tapers to 10.5 across the trucks. The 10-inch Slappies felt a lot lighter than the 11-inch Slappies I had on the Heroin Pickle. And everything about this board just felt great. I set it up with some old Spitfire soft sliders, the 54mm radial. I love these wheels. They feel super, super good. Not sure if they're making them still, but on this board, they were a little bit smaller already from riding for a few months on them, so they made the board feel even lighter. Got the little jawns Wideboy rails on here. Got the Curb Killer 10-inch inverted kingpin Slappies. I thought that matched perfectly, being that they have the same little character design on the trucks as on this board, because it is Ira Ingram, I think is his name, pro rider or a guest pro rider for Heroin, super talented skateboarder. This is his pro model board, guest model, and these are his pro trucks. So I thought that would be a great idea to put them together. And yeah, so far this thing has just been amazing. I got the Pedro Delfino bearings in there, if anyone's curious, and I just have a little 1/8 inch riser, because it does have these wheel wells, which make it even nicer and more comfortable, so you don't have to worry about wheel bite all the time. Looking at the stats on this board, it is 10.75 across. It is an egg board, so it is, I think, symmetrical each way. I kind of had this grip job done where it isn't totally symmetrical. I don't really like riding symmetrical boards. I prefer to have a front and a back for my truck and everything. So I've been riding it as a directional board, but nonetheless, it's 10.75 across, 32.5 inches long, and it has a 14.375 inch wheelbase. I think that's the most crucial part about these bigger boards, especially with heroin skateboards. They put a very small wheelbase on a very wide board, so it is still very functional. It's very poppy. It doesn't feel too heavy, and you have so much more room to land on. You just when you're cruising or doing anything, you just feel a lot more secure on such a wide board, especially if you're someone like me who is more of a beginner and has only been skateboarding for a couple of years versus decades and decades. And that's what I love about this board, man. I feel like it's good for beginners. It's good for older riders, especially. It's been very popular, heroin skateboards and all these wide egg boards. And yeah, I've been loving this thing so much, man. And to end this video off, I just want to get a couple clips of me riding it at the local skate park here. Many of you, if you watch my channel, you know this is my local. There's a lot of stuff I normally skate here. And I just want to do my basics on this board for you guys before it gets dark and kind of let you guys be the judge if I look more confident skating this board. I've just been on a 6-hour flight last night and then been on the road driving for 5 hours today. So my legs are feeling real dead. Not dead, but just not awake. So I'm hoping I can still skate really good on this thing for you guys and really put it to the test and show you that even with these tired legs, this board feels so good. So let's get a couple clips on this before I end the video and before it gets too dark. Yeah. Woo. Just want to show you guys what we're working with up close and personal. I know a lot of you guys like to see these boards and these builds up close. As you can see, we got that 1075 Curb Killer Heroin Skateboards Wideboy. We got the 10-inch Curb Killer Slappies on there with the inverted kingpin. Got the cool little logo on them right there. Same dude that's on here, just a little skinnier. And then on this side of the truck, we got the Curb Killer insignia right there, a little signature. With the silver and red. Coming over here, we got those Wideboy little jawns rails. Got the shorties and big ball stickers. Don't actually have big balls in the bearings on this one. Got those Formula 4 soft sliders, the radial 54s. And if you can see in there, we got those Pedro Delfino Bronson G3 Pro model bearings. And we got really lucky with this board. Oops, sorry, my finger got in the way. We got a yellow bottom and a purple top. I think those look so good with the green bottom. Here's the top. As you can see, got that beautiful egg shape. I'm a size 13 foot for reference. So just a little bit of overhang on my toes and heels on it, but it almost matches up perfectly with that size 13 foot that I got. So if you got a bigger foot, this might be the board for you to feel real cozy. And like I said, I'm riding it directionally. I don't really like to ride symmetrical boards. I like to have my back truck tighter for bombing hills and stuff. So yeah, we left a little bit of space there on the grip. But guys, so here we are at the end of the session. I don't know about you guys, but I felt pretty dang confident on this board cruising around the local park. I hadn't really gotten to skate this at my local spots yet because I set it up literally, I think the day before I had to fly down to Texas for my grandma's funeral and all that. But man, this thing has been such a joy to ride already. Like I said, I really like that big pickle board we rode in the last video about a month ago or so. It just was a little too big for everything I like to do. Riding this board, I feel confident like I did on the pickle, except I can pop all the tricks that I want to pop. I can get up into grinds and slappies and do transition and everything I want to do while still having a little bit of a light feel to it. And yeah, like I said, this thing fits my 13-inch foot so well. There's just a little bit of overhang on my toes and heels, but for the most part, olling off of anything feels good. You saw we were going off that tall hubba at the skate park in Austin, Texas. Yeah, just everything's confident about this board, man. If you are an adult beginner skateboarder, I would highly recommend these bigger boards that Heroin Skateboards makes with the small wheelbases and the wide boards. I've slowly transitioned into them. Coming from a longboarding background, it was really hard for me to start learning in skateboard tricks on the 825. I started when I was 23 years old at skating. Now I'm just turned 26, literally like 2 weeks ago, right before I went to Texas. And I've been skating for about 2.5 years now. I don't know, my progression is good for some, not good for others, but I'm having fun doing it, and these boards help so much. Literally, whenever I go skate one of these big boards, I am just so much more confident to learn tricks and to do slappies and transition and everything. And before that, when I was on a smaller board, anything less than a 9, or even 9s now feel kind of small for me. Everything just felt a little bit more squirrely. I didn't feel confident popping my tricks, and with this thing, everything feels a lot better, and I have a lot of fun. We got a lot more cool Heroin skateboard builds coming soon. I got the 10.4 Fried Boy, which is a little bit smaller than this board. I also got the Heroin Mutator and the Swampy 1025 Popsicle, both at my crib now that I'm about to go unbox. So I'm super excited to go look at those and make some videos on those for y'all soon. And yeah, a lot more to come, man. But yeah, just having a lot of fun on these big boards as a beginner adult skateboarder, and I recommend you go check one out and do the same. They have some boards that aren't as extreme as this. They have some that are 875, 9. If you want to kind of slowly transition, that's kind of what I did with my skateboarding journey. I went 825, 875, 9, 95, 10, and so forth. So maybe that's the way to do it, but the bigger I've gone, usually the better. This is a really good middle ground. I don't think I'd want to go bigger than the 1075 for anything as an all-around board. The pickle and stuff's fun for just once in a while, but I think this is the best size board for me for all-around use. And yeah, thank you. Shout out to Heroin. This isn't sponsored by them, but they're just my favorite board company. So yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and peace out.